Gora Shakti Sarupaya Rupa वैशालिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भिः वंशीवतां ततः स्थितः कर्षन्वेणुस्वनैर्गोभिः गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तुतः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्। हरेर्नामैव केवलं कलौ नास्त्येव गतिरन्यथा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So since we started late today, I'm not going to do repeats. We'll sing the bhajans together, and I'll call out the page numbers. Sakala Vaishnava Gosai, page 46. You have the Gaudiya Kirtan app? Sakala Vaishnava Gosai, Doya Korore, Dante Trinadhari Gohe, Vedina Pama. Sakala Vaishnava Gosai, Doya Korore, Dante Trinadhari Gohe, Vedina Pama. Sri Guru Charanoya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Pada Padma Pavaniya, Gauri Gaurvanya. Tumhara sabara karuna binde diha pratina, Visheshaya yogya mure kohilo nishkay. Tumhara sabara karuna binde diha pratina, Visheshaya yogya mure kohilo nishkay. Kalirupa Sharina Nadharata, page 47, all together. Yam Kalirupa Sharina Nadharata Tandraja Prema Mahanidhi Bhutharika Konakapata Mukharata Yam Kalirupa Sharina Nadharata Virakiraham Page 58, Nitai Pada Kamala. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Nitai Pada Page 338. Pashya Shachi Shutam Anupamarupam. Pashya Shachi Sutam Anupamarupam. Pashya Shachi Radha Krishna Pranamor Jugal Kishori. Page 1, 2, 3. Radha Krishna Pranamo Jugal Next kirtan with Hare Krishna was requested by Hani Goswami of Radharaman Mandir. Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopala Krishna Govinda Govinda Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopala Govinda Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopala Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopala Govinda Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopala Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopala Krishna Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Rupana Gauri Guruvarga ki jai, Pratipal Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Gopinath ki jai, Hari Nam Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Abhijit's watching.
Who's watching?
Abhijit Roy. Abhijit Prabhu.
Kishori, did Gurudev ever say which Gandharva planet you were from in your last life?
Me? No, he said. He said there are some who might be expert in doing kirtan and playing harmonium, who may be more than fallen.
He was talking about me.
I thought he was talking about me, I'm pretty sure. I was the only one playing harmonium with the temple at that time. Dandavad. I always get ready first and prepared. One time, one devotee was doing Mangalacharan, and at the same time, he was fixing the microphone, shifting everything while he was doing Mangalacharan. Srila Gurudev stopped him. He said, "Stop. First, fix everything, take care of everything, and then, when you can be focused and concentrated, then you do Mangalacharan." So I make sure that everything is prepared first, and then I begin. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Bhaktaya Namo Namo Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Namaham Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayanati Namine Namaham Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate giri Yakripatamaham Vande Shri Gurudeva. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad, Astottara Shri Srimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja. And the same unto the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad, Astottara Shri Srimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaja, Srila Prabhupada. To all of our Rupananda Gauriya Guruvarga, and to all Vaishnavas past, present, and future, I offer my Dandavat Pranam. All of you, also who are watching on Facebook live stream, I'm offering you my Dandavat Pranam. So we will continue today with going beyond Vaikuntha. And as requested by the senior Vaishnavas present here, as I am speaking, if they feel any inspiration in their heart, they will very freely chime in and add any inspiration that is manifesting within their heart. So before we begin this going beyond Vaikuntha is the Bhav Anubhav, means Srila Gurudev's own digested moods of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita by Sri Sanatan Goswami. He gave it in the form of lectures. And it's very, very beautiful. So many essential truths he is manifesting. And so before we begin, we pray to Sri Sanatan Goswami. Vairaga Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatna Kapayanam Mam Anubhikshmandam Kripampadiya Paraduk Dukhi Sanatanastam Prabhumashrayam. And to the feet of Srila Gurudev, that may they manifest even a drop of the moods that are present within these pages into our hearts. So Srila Gurudev was discussing about how this one Brahman, by great mercy, Kamakya Devi Parvati gave him Sri Gopal mantra. And from that mantra he was pulled in many directions, pulled forward toward the Ishtadev of that mantra, who was corresponding with his intrinsic nature to love and serve Krishna. So he was pulled to so many places, even toward Mukti Dham. At that time, again, Kamakya Devi appeared before him with Mahadev. And Mahadev told him, whatever you do, don't go toward Mukti, go the other way, go far away from here. So he continued and went toward so many different places where the glories of the Lord were being chanted. Even where the glories of Ram, Vishnu, Narayan were being chanted, but still his heart wasn't feeling fully settled. So eventually he came to Vishram Ghat in Mathura. He bathed there, and then he came here to Vrindavan to do his bhajan. Srila Gurudev was explaining that Gopal mantra is no ordinary mantra. Gopal mantra manifests the deity of your mantra according to your particular bhav. So who is the deity of Gopal mantra? Gurudev says Gopal Krishna. But which Gopal Krishna? So if your intrinsic relationship with Krishna in Vrindavan is like one of his sakhas, if that is the intrinsic nature of your Atma, why do I keep saying that? Because our Gurudev, our Param Gurudev, our Param Gurudev, our Param Gurudev, Sri Bhaktivedanta our Ruparnu Gauriya Guru Varga have very strongly established this fact that the nature of the soul is inherent within it, the constitutional nature, specific particular nature. It is not to be had from any outside source, but it is awakened due to sadhu sangha. Otherwise, there would be some addition to it, which can be removed and then something else can be replaced. That is like the material body. The material body means it is temporary in nature. Something can be added and something can be taken away. That is the nature of the material world. But the transcendental nature of the soul, which is superior energy, is such that you cannot add to it and take away from it its intrinsic nature, which is like the Lord, like Krishna's, but infinitesimal, extremely small. Even though it is extremely small, still it has its own intrinsic inherent nature, a particular flavor of love toward a particular form of the Lord. And only when that jiva comes to that particular relationship will he find his satisfaction. Even if one is meant to go, even if one goes to Vaikuntha with Srimad Narayan, if his nature of his soul is meant to be a cowherd boy in Braj. He will not feel completely fulfilled or satisfied with Narayan in Vaikuntha, because that is not his ultimate resting place. So our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, in a conversation with so many very senior disciples of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev explained, he said, you cannot imagine the level of their qualification. How knowledgeable, how high these personalities are, you cannot imagine. So they all came together, and Srila Gurudev said, at that time I was very young, but I wanted to hear this conversation. So by any trick, I got close to these Vaishnavas. I brought water to all of them, and then I was there fanning them, listening to this conversation. And he said, in that conversation, Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj requested Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Goswami Maharaj to speak on this subject. And he established very clearly, according to so many Shastric evidences, including Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, that whatever is within the intrinsic nature of the soul, only that will manifest, no other thing. And our Param Gurudev Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj re-emphasized what was told by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Maharaj, including within it Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's very lengthy commentary on the first verse of Sri Shikshashtakam, Cheto Dar Paramarjana. He said, why would Mahaprabhu say this? If you clean off all of the material things which are covering us, Baba Mahana Vagni Nirvapanam, what will happen? You will understand and realize yourself, who you are, what is your fruit, what is your relationship with Krishna, what is the particular form of the Lord that your eternal relationship is with, by the potency of Harinam. Bhaktivinoda Thakur very, very deeply established this point, and those who are following in Bhaktivinoda Dhara, all of our Rupana Guru Varga, have established this point very succinctly. Our Param Gurudev established it, and our Gurudev and our Rupana Guru Varga have followed their Guru Parampara exactly. Just the other day, Sudevi was reading to me, and from Srila Prabhupada Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaja's own words, he was explaining what is Parampara. He said Parampara means you take the understanding of your Gurudev's understanding of Parampara. In the past, we did not have books, we did not have internet, we didn't have Google, we didn't have database. We had Ado Guru Padasha. One takes shelter at the feet of their Gurudev, and what is emanating from the mouth of their Gurudev? Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, Chitte Koriya Aikya, Arna Koriho Mane Asha. What is manifesting from the mouth of my Gurudev? I will understand all of my Guru Parampara through their understanding. But our Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada said you should not jump over the head of your Gurudev. Then what is the meaning of Parampara? Our Gurudev explained the same thing. Don't try to jump over the head of your Gurudev and develop an understanding that you think is superior to his understanding. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed us the proper etiquette in this connection. Mahaprabhu said that my Gurudev thought me to be a fool. And so he told me what to do, and I'm simply following his instruction. When Prakashananda Saraswati, with his 100,000 disciples in Varanasi, there he told him, oh, you are a sannyasi, you should study Vedanta, you should be proper like all of us. And he said, what can I say? My Gurudev saw me like I'm a fool. Of course, he didn't see him like that, but he's giving the instruction that one should always remain like a fool in front of their Guru. One should never profess to know or understand more. One very nice devotee, lady disciple of our Gurudev, she told Gurudev, well, my understanding is this. And Gurudev said, you should not try to take your understanding. You should accept the understanding of your Gurudev and Guru Parampara. But even how to understand my Guru Parampara? Through the medium of my Gurudev. And Srila Gurudev and Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj glorified the unprecedented Guru Nishta of Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. The unprecedented Guru Nishta. How? When the conversation came up that there seems to be a difference of opinion between Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur on the definition of the 5th verse of Upadeshamrita, Krishneti yasya giritam manasadiyeta dikshashtike pranati vishcha vajantamisham shushrushaya vajan vigyamananyamanya nindadi shunyam hridam ipsita sangalabhya. At that time, our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, he said, I do not know Mahaprabhu. I do not know our Purva Acharyas. I only know my Gurudev, and I will understand my Purva Acharyas and their explanations through the medium of my Gurudev. Without my Gurudev, I would know nothing about Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I would not have any access to him whatsoever. I wouldn't know anything. And in fact, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada explained this very clearly in an article entitled Thakur Bhaktivinoda. He said there are those persons who have memorized and captured every word of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and they can repeat it forward and backwards by memory without having captured even the slightest essence of its true meaning. The only way to receive and understand and digest the words of Bhaktivinoda Thakur is through the medium of the mercy of the current pure devotee. Where that current is flowing, then you can understand. So our Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, he explained very clearly that I don't know them, but certainly my Gurudev, he has studied under the very careful guidance of his Gurudev Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and has certainly discussed and understood all of the different meanings, and he has given us this particular understanding. So I will understand Bhaktivinoda Thakur through the medium of my Gurudev. Our Gurudev and Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, also our Gurudev Shiksha Guru, both of them have proclaimed that this is a symbol of the unprecedented Guru Nishta of Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. Why is it placed in his biography? Why are they speaking about it like this? Because they're trying to teach us, those who are coming in their mind, what kind of nishta we should have in the words of our Gurudev. Not jumping over, but accepting that they have absorbed and realized their Gurudev's understanding. What my Gurudev has given me, I will accept that without unnecessary opposition.
No doubt in Gurudev contact.
Without any doubt.
Little doubt that we will be this.
Srimati Didi is saying even one little doubt and everything will be finished. I remember once we were in the gully of Sevakunj, and there Srila Gurudev, he said there was only a small group around him. It was maybe 1998. Maybe 10 devotees around him, and he said, you should be very careful. Even if any other Mahabhagavat says something even slightly different from your Gurudev, he said you must immediately reconcile it. Otherwise, the seed of doubt in your Guru will come inside you. Very quickly, it will grow into a big tree, and then everything will be destroyed. What happens? If a tree grows inside of you, you will have no backbone left. Guru Nishta is the backbone of Bhakti.
Srila Prabhupada says, if your Guru says that a rope is a snake, then you drop it. Oh, it's a snake. But if somebody else says, no, it's a rope, pick it up. No, my Guru, it's a snake. But then he says, it's not a snake, pick it up. And you pick it up.
So, Pujapad Sajjan Maharaj said that our Srila Prabhupada said, if Guru is telling you that the rope is a snake, immediately you should drop that rope. You should drop it. And if someone else says, no, it's just a rope, pick it up. No, you follow the order of your Guru. And then if your Guru says, now, actually it's a rope, pick it up, then you accept the word of your Guru. This is an extreme case, but the point is that we should accept the word of Guru as our life and soul.
Guru Maharaj is enough.
Yes.
The same example, Guru says this is a snake, and you see it is a rope. said, no, Gurudev, this is a rope. And Gurudev said, no, it's a snake. He said, Gurudev, this is a rope. And Gurudev said, you think your Guru doesn't know what it is? Why do you argue with him? This is the point. Why do you argue with Guru? Thinking that you know better than him. Guru knows it is a rope. You're just testing your Krishna. Your surrender to him.
So
That's also the story.
Srimati Didi said that Guru should be qualified. This is important. And Pujyapan Shroti Maharaj, he just said that sometimes Guru will test us. That what is our nature? Are we always trying to argue with Guru? Maybe it is a rope, and Guru is saying it's a snake. And we say, no, Gurudev, it's a rope. And he'll say, no, it's a snake. No, Gurudev, it's a rope. We should not argue with our Gurudev. This is one example. That's why I'm making the point that it's extreme. Because also, the nature of any disciple is that if he hears something that creates doubt, then he must question his Guru. Tad vidhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya. Pranipat means first I must surrender. But if some doubt comes, then immediately we must ask, I don't understand, please clear my doubt. And that is also the function of Guru. Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyasa Shreya Uttamam Shabde Parecha Nishnatam. He must be able to remove our doubts through the medium of Shastra, which means he is well versed in all Shastra. But his main qualification is Brahmanupa Samashaya, Krishnaika Sharana. He is completely 100% devoted to Krishna. This is the symbol of qualification for Sri Guru.
Guru Agga jo vichar nahi. Guru Agga jo vichar, without anything you must be obedient. But Param Gurudev, when Param Guru Prabhupada told him, your mother write a letter, so your mother is now dying.
Yes.
But he's not here.
So Srimati Umadidi is giving the exception to the rule. One must be Sat Sishya to really understand the bhav of the Sadguru. When Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada instructed our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, your mother, she's about ready to depart from this world. You should go home and look after her. She's calling for you. Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, that time, Bihari Brahmachari was hiding. He did not leave. After some time, it was told to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he's still here. He never followed your instruction to go home. Srila Prabhupada called him immediately. Why didn't you follow my order? Param Gurudev fell at his feet weeping. For millions and billions of lifetimes, I have been suffering in this world in samsara with so many millions of mothers and fathers. Finally, I have received the great mercy of Krishna to be able to come to the lotus feet of Sri Guru. If at the time my mother is passing away, she requests me, you must look after the farms, you must take care of so many things, I will be bound to follow her order. But I cannot leave your lotus feet, please don't send me away. That time, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he welled up with emotion. What kind of mood of surrender my disciple has. And so much mercy he gave to our Param Gurudev. So this is the mood of Sat Sishya, understanding the bhava of his Gurudev. And the same thing with Srila Gaurkishordas Babaji Maharaj and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. He told him, do not go to Calcutta. He never went to Calcutta. Tumhara hriday sada Govinda Vishram Govinda Kohina Mama Vaishnava Paran. Within the heart of the Vaishnava, Krishna is always residing. Wherever that Vaishnava goes, that place is none different from Vrindavan. Those mountains are like Giriraj, those rivers are like Jamuna, the lakes are like Radhakund and Shyamakund. Wherever they go, they bring Krishna. So what's the first thing he did? From the external material vision, it appears he went straight to Calcutta and that he disobeyed the order of his Gurudev. But actually, he never went to Calcutta. He brought Vrindavan to that place and invited everyone there to come to Vrindavan. So he understood the deeper inner heart's mood of his Gurudev. But for someone like me, My Gurudev told in 2008, I believe it was, devotees were asking us to go to Los Angeles to look after the temple there. And then they weren't sure. Because Gurudev said, okay, I've decided to give Sudevi and Kishori, you can bring them to Los Angeles. And they told Gurudev, Gurudev, we're not convinced. He said, just do it, everything will be okay. Gurudev, we're not convinced. But I really am anxious for Los Angeles, just bring them, it will be done. Gurudev, we're not convinced. He said, okay then. He said, better you should continue traveling around the world and preaching. And then 11 times in 3 days, travel the world more and more and preach. Gurudev was ordering. And then one Vaishnava came to me and he said, you know Gurudev wants you to go to Los Angeles. You just don't want to go. So you don't understand his inner heart's desire. And I said, at this stage, I am not at that level where I can second guess my Gurudev. He's ordered 11 times in 3 days what I should do. I was willing to go, but he ordered to do this, so I'm going to try to follow the order of my Gurudev. I don't have that capacity to read his inner heart's desire like that, so I will follow his order. The order of the spiritual master is the life and soul of the disciple. And if I want to become a real disciple, I should try to follow that order as honestly and as clearly to the best of my ability. This is in connection with this section of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. We're going beyond Vaikuntha. Because... Oh, yes.
Remember, Srila Bhaktivedanta gives an example of Srila Bhakti Kumasanta. He said, Jiva is followed by Gurudeva.
Pujapat Sajan Maharaj is saying that when Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj was glorifying Bhakti Kumuchanta Maharaj, there he was saying, Jivera Surupa Hoy, Guru Nityadas. At this point. And this is also confirmed by our Srila Gurudev when he's talking about this Shlok Anyabhilashita Shunyam. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. He said, first and foremost, we have not realized our relationship with Krishna in Vrindavan. But Krishna has manifested to us, the first form of Krishna has come as Guru Krishna in our lives. So first and foremost, we should apply this shlok at the feet of Sri Guru. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam means at this point, Guru Krishna. All of these moods we should apply at the lotus feet of Sri Guru. And from there, he will make us qualified to one day serve Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Gurudev said that even Paramatma in the heart is only taking the role as a witness. And he is directing the wanderings of the jivas according to our desires since forever. This means he's neutral. Oh, you want this, you want that? Okay, okay.
You not interfere our desire.
Yeah.
What you like, you can do. I am witness. I am looking. And I like things, bad and good activity.
So Srimati Didi is saying that he's just there looking. What do you want? Okay, I'm writing it down. I will make arrangement for your desires to be fulfilled. This is the function of Paramatma. I, dwelling within the hearts of everyone, direct the wanderings of the living entity. What is that verse in Bhagavad Gita? I can't remember at the moment. It will come. This is the function of Paramatma in the heart. But that same Paramatma, when anyone is calling out with sincerity that I want to know the truth, I want to develop a relationship of love for the Lord, that same Paramatma manifests externally as Guru, Diksha and Shiksha Gurus. And they are no longer taking a passive, neutral role. They begin taking an active role. No, don't do this. Don't go toward Mayavad. Go toward Krishna. And you surrender to them. So Gurudev explained that at that point, Guru takes the place of Paramatma in your heart. He takes an active role. An active, meaning he keeps us away from, what is it? Asato ma sagamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityo ma amritam gamaya. He's keeping you away from darkness, away from ignorance, away from everything that is unfavorable, and only bringing you toward bhakti. So this is an active role. When we take shelter of Sri Guru, then he begins to direct us toward
Also, that is
Krishna.
true. First we become Vaisnava Das, Krishna Nitya, therefore Guru Das, then possible Krishna Das, then Radharani Das.
So Srimati Mudidi said, first we become Vaishnava Guru Das, Sadhu Guru Das. Then from there, we will realize eventually that I am Nitya Krishna Das. But we have to start first with Guru. As Goswami says in Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ado Guru Pad Ashray. First surrender to the lotus feet of Sri Guru. From that point, even Raghunath Das Goswami, Guru, first thing he says, then Goshte, Gostaleshu, Sujane, but first Guru. Oh, interesting, it's coming up very soon. Okay, so who is the deity of Gopal mantra? Gopal Krishna. Which Gopal? It is according to the particular sentiment of the devotee. To some, it is that Gopal who takes the cows out to graze. To some, it is baby Krishna sitting in the lap of Yashoda. And for those in Madhurya Rasa, it is Kishori Gopal.
Narayan Maharaj also told my mother, Param Gurudev giving mostly Gopal. Prabhupada giving Nitya Gaur, Param Gurudev give mostly Gopal. One time Maharaj told to my mother that if she that Gopal, not baby Gopal, Kishori.
So she's saying that Param Gurudev is mostly giving Gopal mantra everywhere.
Gopal mantra and Gopal deity.
Gopal deity. But he said to her, it's not this Gopal, it is Kishori Gopal that she should be focusing her attention on. This is important. That who our Ishtadeva, Srila Gurudev explained that Guru can see everything. He is Tattvadarshi. He can see Krishna. He has realized practically his relationship with Krishna. So he knows everything. Therefore, he can see beyond our material coverings and see the nature of our Atma. And therefore, at the time of Diksha, at the time of initiation, he gives us the appropriate sadhana to awaken our particular relationship with Krishna. If you follow this process, then you will attain your goal. Your goal. Gurudev is not changing our swarup. He's not giving us, imposing something on us. Here, put this suit on. Now you're a gopi. Oh, wait, I made a mistake. Take that one off. Put the gopa suit on. They can change it like this. No. He diagnoses the nature, the intrinsic nature of our soul, and gives us the appropriate sadhana to awaken that. I wanted to add that in that conversation with Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Shri Maharaj, Bhakti Dayat Maharaj, so many, Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Maharaj, Bhakti Vichar Gajavar Maharaj, so many were there. There was established that in the same way that within a seed, all of its nature is present. Already within that seed. And all that is required is that it is placed in the proper environment, given water and sunlight and protection, and it will become or grow into what it is meant to be. But you cannot turn an apple seed into an orange tree, or a strawberry seed into a jackfruit. Strawberry seed will make strawberries, jackfruit will make jackfruit, a thorn tree will make thorns, apple seed will make apples. In the same way, each jiva has its own particular intrinsic relationship with Krishna. And by sadhu sangha, bhakti lata bij doesn't mean that someone gives you a seed. All acharyas have explained, bhakti lata bij means sadhu sangha. And that sadhu sangha awakens what is inside and allows it, in essence, to manifest its nature. So that point was made very clearly in that conversation. So here Gurudev is affirming, it is according to the particular sentiment of the devotee. For this Brahmin, it was Krishna taking the cows out to graze, playing the flute and wandering in the forests of Vrindavan in the company of his cowherd friends. So his intrinsic nature was as a sakha of Krishna, a cowherd boy. If we do not receive the darshan of Krishna in our meditation while we chant our mantra japa, in the higher sense, we can understand it all to be useless. So here Gurudev is saying something very interesting. If we're only chanting, oh my God, Corona, watching the news, looking at YouTube, talking with our friends, watching the sports match, falling asleep, not really putting any heart or any attention, no sambandha, nothing into our chanting. Then, dharma surushtita pumsam vishvakshena katasya nutpade jariratim shrama eva hi kevalam. From the higher perspective, Gurudev said it's all considered useless. Bhagavatam confirms this. Gurudev said even chanting lakhs and lakhs of Harinam and worshipping thousands of Shalagram Shilas, if it does not bring about a rati, attraction for hearing the glories of Krishna, especially our Ishtadev, then it is considered hard, useless labor. So he's saying from the higher perspective, if we're just chanting, but we are not receiving darshan of Krishna in our meditation, then it can be understood to be all useless. Now Gurudev is telling us what kind of mood we should have while chanting. When will it be? When will it be we should have this eagerness? Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj said, every day when I wake up and I reach out for my japamala, he said, I see that it is the day of my initiation and my Guru Maharaj is handing me my japamala for the first time. With this kind of eagerness I'm approaching. And who was it? Bhakti Vallabh Tirtha Maharaj. He said, on one knee he's chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Why is Krishna not appearing to me on this mantra? Maybe he was delayed. He promised he would manifest. Maybe he was delayed. For sure, in the next mantra, Krishna will manifest. Some eagerness must be there.
Without eagerness, nothing.
Without eagerness, nothing. We should chant with our hearts, and then we will see that this mantra will bestow his direct darshan. Otherwise, birth after birth, it will be fruitless. So if we're only chanting Nam Aparad, birth after birth, that means only meditating on material things. My anarthas, my problems, her anarthas, her problems, his problems, everyone else's problems, and only my material desires for Kanakakamani and Pratishta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. What will be the result? The fulfillment of my desire for wealth, the fulfillment of my desire for sense gratification, the fulfillment of my desire for name, fame, adoration, position, power, all of these things. Gurudev is saying here, birth after birth, it will be fruitless. Fruitless means I'm not receiving the fruit of prema. This is prema atma. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra can awaken prema. But if I'm chanting for any other purpose, other than for serving and pleasing and loving Krishna, then what will come as a result? Gurudev said, birth after birth, it will be fruitless. If we are mindless while chanting, or worried, or sometimes falling asleep, or sometimes becoming discouraged, we will not receive the full result of the mantra. So, Gurudev is telling all of those things which will stop us from actually receiving that benefit. We know Abhinatva Nama Namino. Krishna and his name is non-different. And he says, Yeyatama prapatyante tamstataiva vajamyaham. As you approach me, I will reciprocate accordingly. So if we're chanting Krishna's name, and not desiring to serve Krishna, but desiring anything else, anya abhilash itta, any other desire, then very easily Krishna will say, take it, have it. But how rare is it when someone is chanting and weeping? One devotee told me they went into Gurudev's room and he was sitting there on his bed in Srikeshaji Gauri in Mathura. He was sitting there weeping. Tears were coming from his eyes and he was just taking shelter of Harinam. He was serving Harinam. Gurudev said, I have never chanted anything. I serve Harinam. Such a different bhav. So he was sitting there and tears were pouring from his eyes. And at a certain point he opened his eyes and he saw her there. And he went like this. And he said, in this world, there is no problem. There is only one problem. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Hare Krishna. Continue weeping and weeping and weeping. Like that. So here he says, when will we get the full result of the mantra? When we chant in precisely the way that the spiritual master has taught us. Our Gurudev told us, he said, you should chant and remember the sweet pastimes of Krishna. You cannot believe how many devotees I have met. No, I'm not qualified to remember this. I'm not qualified. So they remember anything else, but they're not following the order of their Gurudev. And 10, 20 years later, hey, I'm not getting any result. This process doesn't work. Are we following the order of my Gurudev? Are we following that instruction as he is giving it? Oh no, I'm not qualified to chant my mantras and meditate on the meaning of the mantra. So I shouldn't think about it. I create and concoct. I'll push this thing out of the way, push this one out of the way. I won't accept the instruction of my Gurudev. Then how will I receive the result? Yes, Maharaj.
Gurudev gave initiation, Harinam and Diksha. He gave, besides the Nam and the mantras, he gave meditations to go home. Yes. And he said, if you continue this, they will expand and expand and expand.
Pujapad Sajja Maharaj is adding that when Srila Gurudev would give Harinam and Diksha, he would also give the mood in which someone should enter into and serve these mantras and Harinam Prabhu, what they should meditate on, what they should think on, and from that it will develop and bring someone forward on the path of bhakti. But if we try to second guess our Gurudev, oh, my Gurudev said it, but I'm not qualified, so I won't do it. Then we won't receive the result. He's trying to give us that mercy, and we're trying to repel that mercy. Gurudev said once, my mercy is flowing like the Ganga or Jamuna. And he said, but I see so many lying on the banks, dying of thirst because they won't drink. Why won't they drink? In English we have a saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. In this connection, once we were in Bath, England, with Gurudev, we went to the house where he was residing, and there he told us, he said, I am just like a pot mender. Means someone who fixes pots. He says, I see that so many persons in this world, due to being in this material world, their hearts, which are like pots, have been shattered and broken into so many pieces again and again. And so I go from place to place and I open up my shop and I call out, anyone who has a broken pot, that means your broken heart, come to me and I will fix it free of charge, and then I will fill it with nectar. And then he looked at us and he had tears in his eyes and he said, but no one is coming. No one is coming. And I thought, I'm coming. But when he said that, I was thinking, actually, I'm not really giving him these broken pieces. I'm trying to hold on to my broken pieces. He wants to fix it and he will fill it with nectar, but I'm not ready to give it. He said, if no one comes, then I will have to pack up my shop and go to the next village and call out. So Sri Guru, like Nityananda Prabhu, is going from place to place, door to door. Ghare ghare bole prem amyaraman, dware dware diya. Going from door to door with a straw in his teeth, begging, falling at the feet of everyone, please. Our Gurudev said, please be merciful to me and become happy. Chant your Harinam. Please be merciful to me and become happy. He's begging us to become happy, and that's what will make him happy. Why? Because they are the manifestation of the condensed form of Krishna's mercy and compassion. So their hearts bleed upon seeing the suffering of the jivas in this world, and they do the best thing they can to try to help us. Shri Nama Prema Daine, to give us that Nama Prema. They're begging us, just take it, just call out the name of Gauranga. Yes, Maharaja.
I have come to fill up your heart with so much nectar. But if your heart is like a vessel, like a pot, but it's completely full of so much of your conceptions and desires and children, etc., absorptions, then there's no room for me to fill it up. But if there's room, because you surrender and you're giving up some of your enlightenment, there will be so much nectar that I can put there and give up your conceptions, selfish conceptions. But I see, even though while I'm there doing, the program, I see your hearts are full. But then I leave after some time, and those pots are becoming empty because you allow holes to come. And you said those holes are and offending the Lord.
So I'll try to paraphrase what Gujarat Sajjan Maharaj said. He's quoting Srila Gurudev that we come to him with our pots and he wants to fill them with nectar, but we have them filled to the brim with so many anarthas and we don't want to let anything go. So he has no room to put that nectar in.
The heart is like a pot.
Yes, the heart is like a pot. But even if we do remove those things that allow him to put some nectar in, we have so many holes in the pot. What are those holes? Vacho vegam, manasa vegam, krodha vegam, the urge to speak nonsense, the urges of the mind, the urges of anger, the urges of the tongue, to taste everything, the urges of the belly, the urges of the genitals, and Vaishnava aparad. So everything is coming out. So we have to also very, very carefully follow this first instruction of Rupa Goswami, that we should utilize all of these things only in the service of Krishna. Our tongue only in vibrating the names of Krishna, his pastimes, glorifying Vaishnavas. Vacho Vegam, our mind always, Savai Mana Krishna Padar Vindayor, everything exclusively in the service of Krishna. Then we may be able to hold that nectar which is being given by Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas. So Gurudev, I just want to finish this one point. When will we get the full result of the mantra? When we chant in precisely the way that the spiritual master has taught us. In precisely the way that he has taught us. And as Parvati instructed this Brahmana, chanting with our concentration focused, ridding our hearts of all desires for sense enjoyment, with humility and with tears coming to our eyes in remembrance, this will bring Gopal. We must chant with a steady mind and exclusive sentiment, and eventually the mantra will give us direct darshan of Sri Krishna himself. Wow, how powerful. One paragraph, but so essential. This is like the essence of everything Gurudev has been trying to give us. Take it, take it. He wants us to take this, the moods, the bhavs, not just doing anything out of ritual or even out of a sentiment, but to go deep into the mood. How to approach Krishna, with what kind of bhav. All of our Guru Parampara are telling us this. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. He's also telling us, if one calls out with a sincere heart, even once, "Oh my Lord, I am yours, I am yours."
From heart.
Yes, from heart, then for sure and certain, very soon Krishna Prem will manifest. My dear Lord Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so long in this material world, today I am surrendering unto you. I am your most sincere and serious servant. Please engage me in your service. My dear Lord, from this day I am yours. If someone is chanting with this mood, very soon prema will manifest. So Gurudev is giving his amazing, heart-touching bhav, anuvad, always encouraging us to enter deeply into all of these processes with our heart and with mood, crying out with tears under the guidance of Guru and Vaisnava, praying for love and service to the lotus feet of Sri Radha and Krishna. This will bring Gopal.
It's the speciality of Bhaktivedanta Narayan Kishori, my Srika Gurudev, always taught us how to chant Harinam. Not Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, no, nothing. This is not what type of chanting Harinam, what type. That not feel you bored, chanting that how I am in front of you, how Mandir Parikrama, how Vrindavan Parikrama, or taking on slope. Chanting Hare Krishna, what Gurudev is the feeling, another Krishna pastime, all the things, all giving up, encouraging you to chant like this one. Other than chanting nothing, Hare Krishna. This is not called sadhana. This will be called sadhana kriya. Sadhana bhakti, how we attain the bhav. This is the sadhana bhakti aim and object. How can I attain bhav? I did not, I am doing chanting and I am doing thinking. Jonathan Maharaja also told this in Bhaktivedanta. When you chanting, pray something. What pray? Oh, Nam Guru, I am no ruchi. No please chanting the name. Please, when I will get chanting and doing something, like a nectar, like Bhagavatamrita Prabhu, always chanting Hare Krishna.
So Srimati Didi is giving a very beautiful wrap-up to this evening. She's saying that Srila Gurudev encouraged us to also do so many things that were favorable for the development of the mood, how to enter into serving Sri Nam, Rajmandal Parikrama, Gaurmandal Parikrama, always hearing Harikatha, remembering the sweet pastimes of Krishna. And she made the point, it's a very powerful point. It will not be considered sadhana if we're not doing it for the purpose of manifesting bhav. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhavasa saranabhita. Otherwise it is some kind of abhas or something else. It's not really sadhana if we're not doing it for that purpose. And then you make the point of
I also know, in an object, I am nothing. I am hoping on Sanatan Maharaja also to work. Always bring something. Oh Prabhu, I am nothing. He is having so many Harikatha, but nobody coming. Please, Prabhu Master. I am so fallen nature that from core of the heart pray, not only mouth.
So she's also saying that from the core of our heart, we should also be praying in deep humility. What is it? I have not received even one tear. My heart is not melting. When will that day manifest? When will Shuddhanam Ruchi manifest in my heart? When will that day come? I'm so unfortunate, like Mahaprabhu says, Nam Namakari Bahudani Sarva Shaktis Tatra Pitani Avitasmaranena Kala Etadashi Kripa Bhagavan Mamabi Durdaivam Idrishamihajani Naruragaha. That you have so many names and all of your Shakti is present within your names, but still I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. Why? When will that day manifest? When my heart will melt and tears will flow from my eyes. When will that day come? With this deep kind of mood, approaching Sri Harinam, praying with a heart full of humility. There should always be a prayerful mood when taking shelter of Sri Nam Prabhu. So we will end here. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Sanatan Goswamipada ki jai, going beyond Vaikuntha ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Iva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Radhati Gashobha Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande রাখি তটবাণী জগমনলো জগজনীর মনলোভা গৌরাঙ্গের আরতি শোভা জগজনীর মনলোভা গৌরাঙ্গের আরতি শোভা জগজনীর মনলোভা গৌরাঙ্গের আরতি শোভা জাহ্নবী ভগবানী জগজনীর মনলোভা
Jai Sachinandan Gora Hari Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Prabhu Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaja Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Prabhu Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja Ki Jai. Charila Prabhu Vishnupada Shishimachara Govinda Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Charila Prabhu Vishnupada Shishimachara Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Charila Prabhu Vishnupada Shishimachara Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Charila Prabhu Vishnupada Shishimachara Bhakti Rakshakshida Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Charila Prabhu Vishnupada Shishimachara Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jagat Guru Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Maha Bhagavat Gaur Kishori Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Satsang Goswami Sachitananda Shri Thakur Bhakti Vinod ki jai. Vaishnava Salamon Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Bhaktivedanta Acharya Shri Vadevi Jabustan Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sanat Shravati Thakur ki jai. Shri Navatam Shri Vasamananda Prabhu Trai ki jai. Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Jai Shri Rup Sanat Bhatar Guna Shri Gopal Das Raguna Sadgoswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Damodaro Manandani Gopasha Brindi ki jai. Namacharya Shri Das Thakur ki jai. Prem se Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Bhakti Nityananda Shri Vedagada Shri Srika Gurudev Spoke ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govinda Buddha Samadana Makashi Braja Mandar ki jai. Shama Kunda Kuni Managanga Tulsi Bhaktidevi ki jai. Kishori Vrishabhanam Didi Shimati Radharani ki jai. Yogamaya Shri Purnamasi Devi ki jai. Upishwarmadev ki jai. Sarva Vishta Pradati Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki jai. Bhumangal Kari Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhara Sudarshan Guru ki jai. Sarva Vigna Vinas Singh Bhagavan ki jai. Bhaktavara Shitvara Maharaj ki jai. Chari Sampradaya Charidam Charachar ki jai. Kermatra Shri Chaitanya Mat ki jai. Shri Gopinath Bhavan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Samagra Bhaktavinda ki jai. Nityananda Machan ki jai. Sachinandan Gora Hari ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Hari.
Krishna